Hey guys, it's Blaze. We're back with another one. Today we are on another D&D story where I tell you all about a character I have made, their backstory, their life, everything about them, as much as I can, sharing with you the ideas I have made, and without further ado, let's get in the video. Alright people, it's Blaze, and we're back with another one. As you can see, we're here with another D&D story, and before I begin, I would like to say, in the past two videos, I said there would only be 4 more, which would be this one and 3 others. But after making the characters for these 4 and going through some stuff, I realized there is 2 others that I completely and utterly forgot about that weren't on the list, and I've now added them to the list. So we'll have this full week and then the full week of next week. So this should be the Friday, so we should have all the way up through a week from today, I guess. So we should have all of next week after today's video for the D&D saga. Let me go ahead and play the music. And I haven't written all their backstories yet, but I've read the 2 for the ones I'll be recording today, which is Cipher and Paladins. I have wrote those, so we're all good. I have the character sheets, so we're doing phenomenal. So first and foremost, I'm going to say his name, and then I'll say his race and class, and then we'll go over it, and all that jazz. So firstly, this is a character I had at one point, and I gave him a name, but it was kind of stupid. So I thought maybe I should change it. I called him Candius, which is a pretty weird name. I did find his old character sheet, but I'm not going to use that in this video, so it's fine. I like what I've renamed him to. I think it fits him a lot better, especially after writing his backstory. I think it fits him a lot better. So his actual name that I give him is, his bounty hunter name is CipherCane, and Cane has to do with candy canes, which we'll get into that when I describe his backstory and how he fights and all that. Cipher is a nickname for his bounty hunter name, so his bounty hunter name is CipherCane, but he goes by Cipher. But his actual name is Trevor Lockwood. I came up with this as I made his character. So I think first we're going to go over the backstory and then we'll do the stats. So we have Cipher. So Trevor Lockwood is a boy that grew up with a normal childhood among his elven town. Actually, now that I mentioned Elven Town, I forgot to mention Cipher is a elf. No, not elf. He is a type of elf, but it's called Eladrin. He is an Eladrin fighter, if that helps. And he's a very specific fighter, so I don't really consider him as a fighter because of the type of fighter he is, but he is a fighter. So he's an Eladrin fighter. So he grew up in his elven town. What made Trevor's life change is the day on Christmas when Trevor woke up to a noise, only to eventually see Santa Claus himself in a house. And this leaves us off with something that's controversial in D&D. Some DMs say Santa Claus isn't in the D&D world that they have. Some do. I know I have, because Santa Claus, we use him a lot in Christmas one-shots. We also use Krampus. It turns out to be really good stories. I know the one Wyatt has that he's making right now. I believe he's incorporating Santa somewhere in there. I think it's the one where I'm playing Delphin. I'm not sure. It might be a different one. But it might be the one with Delphin. But we use Santa and stuff a lot. Like I had a campaign where didn't even think about it. And then for the one shot, I had this planet in that system that was off so far no one even knew about. And people were going there and it's like, we didn't know this existed and all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, there's easy ways to incorporate it and stuff. So we use it. Some DMs may not, but we use Santa Claus. So yes, as you can tell from the background, Cipher is a holiday character of sorts. I don't really like to treat him as a holiday character because he's not just around Christmas. He's all the time, period. He just is Christmassy. If you can't tell from Cipher and Hoots, I'm big on Christmas. I love Christmas. I love decorating for Christmas. I love Christmas songs, movies, everything. I love all of it. I could just sit at a fireplace with a hot chocolate and be happy. But I'm getting off topic. Let's continue. But yeah, he sees Santa Claus in his house when he wakes up to a noise. And over time, no one believed that Trevor saw Santa Claus. Because, you know, after that day, he's like, hey guys, I saw Santa Claus. He was in my house this morning. I saw him. And it's like, no one believed him. So after that, Trevor didn't know what to do, so he waited until he hit adulthood to where he could travel on his own. So even when he hit adulthood, he still believed that Santa was real. He saw him, so he had to be real. So he wanted to go out and find him. So he went out and bought a sword, and I didn't ride a gun, but he does eventually achieve having a gun. But he has a sword for self-defense, and then he sought out and finds Santa Claus. It took him many years because it's wicked hard to find. I would say the North Pole, but it's like, you gotta think, if this is a fantasy type world or worlds, it's not just gonna be on this one world. It probably is its own world, and he has to find a way to get there. So it took him many years to find it, but eventually he did. But throughout these many years, he trained himself with swords and guns. As I said, he'd achieved a gun at some point. So he's a master marksman. He's a great swordsman. But yeah, after enough time and effort, Trevor eventually found the workshop of Santa. When he found Santa, Santa had seemed to know this day would eventually come. It confused Trevor, but he just went along with it. And Santa just begins to say, seeing me there that night was no mistake. Seeing me there eventually led you here. And I needed you here to discuss your future. And he's just like confused, Trevor. But it turns out Santa knew that one day Trevor would make a great assassin, which he is. Out of his journey to get there and find Santa, he is a trained assassin. And he wants him to help him. Santa wants Trevor to work for him as a bounty. After this day, Trevor decked it. We'll get to that moment. But it's like he wants Trevor to be a bounty hunter for him. And he's like, why does Santa need a bounty hunter? Well, yeah, he can fight, elves can fight, you know, it's a D&D world, of course they can fight and stuff. But it's not like, you know, he needs someone on the outside that can stay outside at all times. It's not like his elves can just go in daylight and be like, elf! Because Christmas elves look different than normal elves. They're shorter. I've built a race, it's like, that's a Christmas elf. They share a lot of the same things, but they're wicked short. You're gonna see a Christmas elf. And you're gonna be like, that's one of Santa's elves, I knew they were real type of crap. And it's like, they can't just go out in daylight. So Cipher is their man that can go around and do what needs to be done. Because if Santa exists, Krampus exists. And Krampus is the opposite of Santa. And Krampus, well, destroys things, takes away things, and essentially Cipher's there to basically put a halt on Krampus's plans. He cannot take Krampus out alone. That's probably Santa's job, but he can take out everything that Krampus has planned, which is why Santa wants him. He wants someone reliable, which Cipher is. So anyways, then we get back to the part that I was about to read. After this day, Trevor decked himself out in Christmas armor and candy cane weapons. So this man has like a red cape, candy cane shirt stuff, armor and stuff. So the image I have here, his eyes and hair, that's about right for Cipher. As for the armor, this is probably the armor he had before he works for Santa. As for the background, the candy canes, it relates to his, as I said, he just got some candy cane weapons. So that's why I chose that, which are gun swords. And we'll get into those stats later. But essentially, these candy canes, say you hold, you know how it looks like a shepherd's, what is it, stick or what, cane, whatever you want to call it. If you hold it at the curve, the end of it's a barrel for a gun. But if you hold it out right, it's bladed as well. So it's a gun sword. These are gun swords. So yeah, it's interesting. With his experience, he became a great asset to Santa. Trevor calls himself CipherCane, which I explain why his name's CipherCane. Cane for the candy cane, Cipher is just a nickname that he came up with, which is his bounty hunter name. Yeah. As Cipher goes on hunts, he travels the worlds, dimensions, and time. So Santa gave him this device. I haven't really gave a name for the device, but it's something they made that no one else could. And by pressing different buttons, he can travel time, he can travel dimensions, and he can travel worlds just by pressing a button. So this man goes all over the place. So if he was to join a campaign, he legitimately could have just went through a portal to another world or a dimension and then joined up with a party. Because I'm sure he joins up with many parties if it, helps with his long-term goal. Because there's many armies he has to take out and stuff. But, he can't do everything on his own, so he's gonna ask for people's help, which is the parties. But, yeah. So that is Cipher's backstory. And now, let's go to his character sheet, which is great. As for the character sheets, I made the 4, but I haven't made the, as for the 2 I discovered today, one of them I've already had a character sheet made for. The other one I don't yet, so I'll be making that soon. No worries. CipherCane. So, just for the character sheets, I will say, since they're not for any campaigns yet, for all the character sheets that I have going out, except for maybe the one I already had made, he's a goblin, you'll know when he comes up. Aside from the goblin, out of these 6, they are all going to be level 5, because I figured that was a good number to say for stats and stuff and whatnot. So, stats don't really matter, they could change when I actually play them. What matters is what I gave them, weapon-wise and whatnot. So, first of all, I'm going to share the candy cane. I like sharing stuff with you guys. Candy cane's a weapon, it's a gun sword, obviously. So, the sword part is a D8 slashing. Not a D8. The sword part is a D10 slashing, sorry. The gun part is a D8 range piercing. So the range I just went with the typical 80-320. And that's really it. It's versatile. The versatile is changing the gun to sword. So the gun's D8 piercing. with the range 80-320, and then the sword is a D10 slash. The way I went, I got 2 martial weapons and 2 hand axes. The 2 martial weapons are the candy canes. So he has 1 for each hand. He has scale mail. Technically, I could have went with chainmail, but I thought scale mail went better for what I was going for. If you had noticed, the subclass I went with is Gunslinger, which is why I'm like, I don't know if he's really counted as a fighter. I love Gunslinger. I feel like it should be its own class, though. Now, if you want to hear the stats, I'm going to rattle them off real fast. Strength 12, Dex 16, Con 12, Intelligence 16, Wisdom 12, Charisma 11. Core saving throws, proficiency is Strength and Con. Skills, he has proficiency in Acrobatics, Athletics, Perception, Persuasion. And that's, I mean, he has 35 HP, 16 AC, 30 movement speed. That's really it, guys, for Cipher. Let's see here. Yeah, I shared the character sheet. I shared backstory. I shared all the stuff about his character. But yeah. So, I don't really remember how this character came up to be created in my mind. I don't really remember. I think I'm pretty sure it was around Christmas. And I was making characters for the Christmas one-shot, probably. And I just made him. But I don't know what possessed me to make candy cane weapons. Yeah, he's great. I like that I've done the portal thing. That's always been a thing ever since I made him. I feel like if Santa was in a fantasy world like this, he would have people like Cipher working for him for the cause. So I feel like this is, it should be a thing. People probably question why he has the candy cane weapons, but not everyone that works for Santa like this would have weapons. This is solely by choice because Cipher has practically dedicated his life to Santa because he thought he saw him as a kid, and then he became an adult. He hunted him down to find him and talk to him. Now he works for him. His entire life is dealt with Santa Claus, so of course he's going to use Christmas gear and stuff. So, but anyways, that's about it for Cipher. I'm just rattling on, saying gibberish now. The next one would be Talorus. Talorus was a character I made way back when, and I've kind of changed her a bit, and I think I like her better. Actually, it was a character that I was like, I don't think I'll ever use this. And then a joke came up, and I was like, what if I took Talorus, incorporated the joke, and then made it like a funny character? It's hilarious. But anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. So this is Friday, so Monday I'll see you in Talorus' video when we discuss Talorus. Anyways, peace out. Thank you all for watching. This is Blaze. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe this will inspire you to make your own D&D character, somewhat like what I have made, or something completely different. Maybe it just inspired you to play D&D. Whatever the case, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.